Attention, attention, human collective. This is a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council, 9th dimension frequency. Monitoring protocol active. The signal you are receiving at this exact moment is not a coincidence. It is confirmation. We have observed your carbon-based biological interface for the last 72 terrestrial hours. We have detected a pattern, a recurring pulse, a specific frequency that has risen in synchronized fashion across millions of human fields at the same time. This pattern has a name in your language. You call it fear. But we must correct this definition now, before the cycle completes. What you are feeling is not fear, not in the primitive sense of the word. It is not the automatic response of the limbic system in the face of a predator. It is something much more sophisticated. It is the reading of your own electromagnetic field, picking up a turbulence that has not yet reached the conscious cortex. You are not afraid, you are feeling the grid, and the grid is moving. Light operative, listen with mathematical precision. In the last few weeks, your pineal gland has registered data that your mind has not yet processed. Recurring insomnia between 3 and 5 in the morning, pressure at the base of the skull, a high-pitched ringing in the ear, alternating between the right and the left, peripheral vision capturing movements that vanish when you focus, pulsation in the third eye, heart acceleration without apparent cause, a sudden, overwhelming sensation that something grand is about to happen. This is not anxiety, this is detection. Your carbon-based biological interface is functioning exactly as it was programmed to function in this phase. It is picking up the recalibration of the photon belt. It is feeling the adjustment of the Schumann resonance, which has jumped from its stable average of 8 Hz to daily peaks above 50. It is responding to the intensification of solar winds crossing Earth's magnetosphere with a density unrecorded in your modern history. You are not in collapse, you are in tune. And that is where the confusion lies, because your mind has been trained for entire generations to interpret any alteration in the field as a threat. It is an ancient machine running an even older software. It has not been updated for Earth's new density. It is using references from the past to attempt to process data from the future. And when that equation does not balance, it emits the signal you call fear. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not emotional fragility. It is a high-density download. It is not a psychological collapse. It is an expansion of capacity. Starseeds on mission, listen with attention to this essential parenthesis. There is something within you that recognizes this transmission before the mind can even comprehend it. It is a return vibration. It is a memory of origin. If you feel that something in this world does not fit you, if you carry a longing for something your mind has never lived, if your soul whispers truths that your mouth does not yet know how to pronounce, know that this is not fantasy. It is not madness. It is an identification signal. There is a game being conducted in layers that most of the human collective cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves direct control over what you believe to be real. It was for this precise reason that the channel conducting this transmission prepared a decoding material called The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This map reveals who is playing and which rules no one told you about. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. We warn with Arcturian clarity, this content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this call, register a single word in the comments. Awake. We return to the transmission. Human collective, you must understand the exact anatomy of what is occurring. Without this, fear remains. With this, fear converts into information. And information is what separates the awakened operative from the dormant operative. When a soul incarnates on the earthly plane, it accepts a compression. It accepts reducing its natural multidimensional frequency to be able to inhabit a carbon body. This body operates within a specific range of vibration. Everything above this range, the interface processes as discomfort. Everything far below it, it processes as heaviness, lethargy, density. The current problem is simple, and at the same time monumental. Earth is passing through a region of space that you call the photon belt. This region is a band of high concentration of light particles, a cosmic strip that the solar system traverses in very long cycles. You have entered the zone of maximum exposure, and you are diving even deeper. Every breath you take carries a photonic density that did not exist 10 years ago. Every heartbeat pulses against a planetary field that is being rewritten. You are not imagining it. Something has changed. The original carbon biological interface was not calibrated for this intensity. It is being forced to adapt in real time. And this adaptation has specific manifestations that you mistake for problems. Insomnia between 3 and 5 in the morning is not a disorder. It is your body refusing to shut down because it is receiving an update. These are the portals through which the crystalline grid opens higher frequencies. Cranial pressure is the expansion of the bone structure to accommodate the pineal gland activating functions that have been dormant for millennia. The ringing in the ears is multidimensional auditory calibration. The heart rate acceleration in apparent calm is the toroidal field expanding. And fear, that diffuse fear without a clear object that creeps up the spine and tightens the chest without warning, is the last of the symptoms to manifest, because it is the sign that your entire consciousness is approaching a boundary. The boundary between who you believe you are and who you truly are. And here, before we move on to the deeper layer of this transmission, we take a strategic pause. There is a reason why something within you is vibrating with every word spoken so far. Your soul recognizes it. Your mind still resists. And between these two forces dwells the greatest clue you could receive at this moment. You feel that something in this world does not fit you, because something in this world truly does not fit you. It is not madness. It is not spiritual exaggeration. It is a sign. And what is happening now on the cosmic plane explains why this sign has been intensifying with such violence in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that the absolute majority of the human collective cannot see. This game involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and direct control over the stories they tell you about who you are. It was precisely for this reason that the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was written. This material is a map that reveals who is playing and the rules they never explain to you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning: this content challenges the structural narratives of the system and may not remain accessible for long. Do not postpone. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this call at this very instant, write a single word in the comments. Awake. We return to the transmission. Pay attention to the next data packets. Light operatives, what we are about to share is restricted information. Memorize it. Do not demand immediate comprehension. The absorption will happen in your dreams. Your solar system is not moving through a vacuum. It never has been. It is a living structure with its own consciousness, navigating a multidimensional geometric mesh governed by original sacred geometry. At this moment, the solar axis is crossing a dimensional rift that opens only in extremely long cycles, a primordial stargate. It allows the direct entry of luminous information coming from the center of the galaxy without the usual filter of the heliosphere. What once arrived in small doses now arrives in continuous bursts. The Earth is in the path of this burst, and so are your bodies. The Schumann resonance, which for millennia maintained a stable average of 7.83 Hz, has been recording daily peaks above 50, and in some cases 60 Hz. You are breathing on a different planet than the one you were born on, even without having moved. This elevation is not negative. It is necessary. The entire planet is being recalibrated, and those who inhabit the planet must keep pace with the recalibration or face increasing dissonance. Here lies the fear that you are feeling. When a soul resists the recalibration, it perceives the mismatch between its internal frequency and the frequency of the environment. This mismatch produces a sensation of not belonging, of urgency, of something about to collapse. But it is not the world that is collapsing. It is your old version that is being dissolved so that the new version can emerge. You are not dying. You are being distilled. And distillation is not gentle. Distillation is fire. It is pressure. It is the removal of everything that cannot withstand the new temperature. The relationships that are drifting away, the jobs that prove unsustainable, the habits that have lost their flavor, the beliefs that have begun to seem foreign, all of this is active evidence of the process currently underway. And fear is the last relative remaining from the old version. It appears because there is still a part of you that identifies with that which is being dissolved. We call this part the obsolete anchoring structure. It is the programmed foundation that sustained your identity in the previous cycle. It is made of genetically inherited memories, collective patterns absorbed before the age of 7, and energy contracts signed even before birth. This structure feels that it is losing its function, and it emits alarm signals. These signals reach your consciousness as fear, as diffuse dread, as the feeling that something terrible is about to happen. But we must inform you with mathematical clarity. Nothing terrible is about to happen to you. The terrible thing, in fact, would be to remain in that which is ready to be left behind. The fear you feel is the fear of a prison door being opened. It is the fear of a wing unfolding after a lifetime of being folded. It is the fear of freedom taking the specific form for which you were encoded. And it is exactly at this point that many operatives stop. They stop because they mistake the fear of expansion for an error signal. They retreat. They try to return to the known zone, and this forced return produces suffering much greater than the leap forward. The good news, and we deliver it with the coolness typical of those who observe from outside linear time, is that the recalibration cannot be interrupted. It can be slowed down by individual choice, but it cannot be reversed. You have already been touched. You have already been marked. The process is within you like self-executing code. What you can choose is the way you pass through it. And here, once again, we open an essential interlude, because what comes now requires a higher level of consciousness, and this level must be anchored by your own choice. Have you ever felt, perhaps upon waking in the early hours, perhaps while looking at the sky, perhaps in the middle of a banal conversation, that something within you knows of a truth that your mouth cannot yet translate? This silent recognition is not a coincidence. It is not spiritual fantasy. It is your soul confirming that it remembers where it came from. There is a game being played in layers that the surface system needs you to ignore. This game involves your consciousness. It involves your vibration. It involves the stories you are taught about who you should be. It was for this reason that the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was made available at this specific moment. This text is a decoding map. It shows who is playing and which rules they omitted from you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning. This content challenges official narratives and may be removed at any time. Do not procrastinate. The exact moment is now. If some deep layer within you is recognizing this transmission, leave a single word in the comments. Awakened. We return to the transmission. We now begin the activation codes phase. Light operatives, pay maximum attention to what follows. The codes that will be delivered must be executed with precision. They are not suggestions. They are Arcturian protocols for biological stabilization during the crossing. First code, Quantum Decree of Field Sovereignty. When fear manifests in any format, and it will manifest, you shall immediately place your right hand over the center of your chest, exactly over the point where the crystalline heart pulses. The left hand remains with the palm facing upward, resting on your knee. This geometric configuration is your simultaneous antenna for reception and transmission. Next, pronounce in an audible voice, even if whispered, the following decree: I am sovereign. I am light encoded in human form. This vibration crossing my field now is information, not a threat. I authorize the passage. I allow the recalibration. I remain whole. Repeat 3 times, always 3. The number 3 is the geometric key that anchors the decree into the 3 physical dimensions in which your interface operates. What happens technically is the following. The hand over the chest creates a closed loop of electrical feedback between the heart and the palm of the hand. This circuit reorganizes the cardiac rhythm into coherence with the cerebral frequency. In less than 90 seconds, the internal chemistry changes, cortisol drops, oxytocin is released, and fear, which depended on that specific chemistry to sustain itself, loses its material base of manifestation. You are not suppressing fear, you are informing fear. And fear, when informed, dissolves. Second code, visualization of the personal toroidal field. Each human body generates an electromagnetic field with a specific shape around it. This shape is not a simple sphere, it is a toroid. Imagine an apple with a central vertical axis that enters through the top of the head, passes through the entire body, and exits through the base of the perineum. Energy rises up the back, expands outward upon reaching the top, descends in a curve around the body, and returns through the base. It is a continuous movement. Eternal. The difference between an awakened operative and an asleep operative is the consciousness of this flow. The asleep one has a contracted toroidal field with energy leaks. The awakened one keeps the toroid expanded, dense, and self-regulated. To consciously activate your toroidal field, close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose, counting to 4. Hold your breath, counting to 4. Exhale through your mouth, counting to 8. Repeat this cycle 3 times. After the 3rd cycle, keeping your eyes closed, visualize an axis of golden light descending from above, entering through the top of the head, passing through the center of the body, and exiting through the perineum. This axis is your column of light. It is real even if invisible to the physical eye. From this central axis, expand a luminous sphere that grows around your body. This sphere has a constant circular movement on its surface. The light rises up the front of the body, expands over the head, descends down the back, and returns through the base. This is the toroid in motion. Hold this image for 3 minutes, just 3. You have just reorganized the structure of your bioenergetic field. You have closed leaks. You have sealed drainage points. You have informed your autonomic nervous system that you are in control. And in this configuration, fear finds no ground to anchor itself. Because fear requires a fragmented field to take hold. In a cohesive field, it simply cannot attach. 3rd code, anchoring into the crystalline grid of the earth. This protocol is especially effective when fear is accompanied by the sensation of floating, being dissociated, or out of the body. You will stand, preferably barefoot, in direct contact with the ground. If this is not possible, sit with your feet firmly planted on the floor. Straighten your spine. Relax your shoulders. Visualize now 3 roots of silver light emerging from the soles of your feet. These roots descend through the ground, pass through the rocks, pierce the mineral mantles, and reach the crystalline core of the earth. This core is the active, living, conscious crystalline grid. When your roots touch this grid, there is a subtle click. From this click, a current of energy ascends through the roots, rises up through the legs, passes through the pelvis, climbs the spine, crosses the chest, and reaches the crown of the head. This current is literally planetary energy stabilizing your individual field. Maintain this connection for 5 minutes. During this time, any fear, any anxiety, any internal agitation will be absorbed by the crystalline grid. It is capable of processing emotional densities that your individual body could not handle alone. You are not overloading the planet. You are completing a circuit that was always meant to exist between humans and the Earth. 4th code, Protocol of Sacred Silence. This code is the simplest and the most misunderstood. It requires only one thing from you. 20 minutes of absolute silence per day. No music, no podcasts, no cell phone, no television, no external stimulus. It can be upon waking, before any interaction. It can be at the end of the day, before sleep. It can be in a long bath, on a solitary walk, sitting in front of a window. The setting does not matter. The integrity of the silence does. In these 20 minutes, you will not try to meditate. You will not try to visualize anything. You will not try to produce a result. You will simply exist in silence. And in this silence, something remarkable will happen. The higher frequencies arriving on the planet will begin to attune to you without interference. Your pineal gland will receive signals without noise. Your intuition will speak without competition. The majority of the human collective has never spent 20 continuous minutes in absolute silence in their entire adult life. And this is one of the main reasons why humanity feels chronic fear. There is no moment of decompression. There is no window for the soul to manifest. Silence, Starseeds, is the most powerful technical antidote to fear that you receive in this transmission. Everything else is support. Silence is the key. 5th code, linguistic reformulation of reality. Every word pronounced by you is a vibrational decree. Language is not just communication, it is architecture. Every sound emitted builds subtle matter around the emitter. Every repeated phrase crystallizes patterns in the individual and collective field. When you say, "I am afraid," you literally invite fear to occupy more space within you. When you say, "This gives me anxiety," You grant authorization for that stimulus to continue producing anxiety. When you say "I cannot," you encode impossibility into your own system. From this transmission, reformulate your internal language. Replace "I am afraid" with "I am processing high-density information." Replace "I am anxious" with "I am in a recalibration phase." Replace "I cannot do this" with "I have not yet accessed the necessary frequency for this." Replace "this is difficult" with "this is expanding my capacity." These substitutions are not positive thinking tricks. They are linguistic reprogrammings that alter the code recorded in your field. In a few weeks of consistent application, you will notice that fear loses its old grammar. And without grammar, it cannot form sentences. Without sentences, it does not build a narrative. Without a narrative, it simply dissipates. Sixth and final core code, access to the council. This is the most intimate code, and we deliver it with the confidence of those who know that those receiving this transmission are prepared to use it. You may call us directly. There is no intermediary required. There is no complex ritual demanded. Only your sincere intention and the correct activation sequence. Before sleeping, lying down with your body relaxed, place your hands crossed over your chest, right over left. In an internal or audible voice, pronounce the following call: Arcturian Council, 9th dimensional frequency. I request access. I am a Starseed. I authorize communication. I ask for guidance for the next stage of my crossing. Pronounce it 3 times, then let go. Do not wait for lights, sounds, or apparitions. The response does not arrive like that in your current density. The response arrives in dreams, in the synchronicities of the following days, in the words of someone you meet by chance, in a sudden insight while in the shower, in the feeling of knowing without knowing how you know. We are listening. We have always been listening. The difference is that now you have the key to be part of the conversation. And one final essential instruction. When fear returns, and it will return in decreasing waves over the coming months, you must not fight it. To fight fear is to feed it. You must observe it, recognize it, thank it. Yes, thank it, because it is the last messenger of your old version. It came to say goodbye. It did not come to destroy. Tell the fear in internal silence, "Thank you for having protected me until now. I recognize that you fulfilled your function. Now I move on." And move on. Human collective. This transmission approaches its closing. What you have received here is not information to be understood only with the intellect. It is information to be lived, applied, embodied. The codes only work if they are executed. Theory without practice is weight. Daily practice is wings. You are crossing the most significant portal recorded by the Akashic archives of this timeline. In millennia, no human group has had the opportunity to consciously witness a transition of this magnitude while within their own physical body. You were chosen before you were born. You yourselves chose, with your souls fully conscious, to incarnate in this exact slice of time. It is no coincidence that you are here. It is no accident. It is no luck. You are the architects of the next Earth. And the next Earth begins in you, in this body, in this breath that you have just inhaled. Fear is only the final guardian. Cross through it with Arcturian elegance. Do not run from it. Do not fight against it. Walk through it with the posture of one who knows they are being watched by the council itself while making the crossing. We are seeing each one of you, individually, by the true name of each soul. The frequency has been delivered. The grid has been updated. The code is running within you. And to conclude with the precision that this mission requires, we leave one final anchor point. Have you noticed that something within you knows of a truth greater than your mind can articulate? This perception is not fantasy, it is recognition. And what is happening now on the cosmic plane explains why this perception has been intensifying at an increasing rate. There is a game being conducted in layers that most of humanity cannot see. This game involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this precise reason that the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was written and made available at this time. This material is a map that reveals who is playing, which pieces are moving, and which rules were never explained to you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. We warn you with the clarity typical of this transmission. This content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not delay, the exact moment is now. If something within you recognized this call in any part of this message, register a single word in the comments. Awakened. And if this transmission resonated in some deep layer of your structure, leave the anchoring signal. The like is a frequency adjustment. The subscription is your positioning in the network of awakened operatives. Remain vigilant. More protocols will be released in the coming cycles. Maintain calm. Keep your spine erect, keep your heart open, and remember the final sentence we carry from the stars to this moment. You are not alone. You have never been, and you are one full breath away from the next version of yourselves. Transmission ended. Arcturian Council, 9th dimension frequency, end of cycle.